Yo, what is going on, guys? It is yours truly, LastChanceFPS, or you guys can call me by my name, Chance. And Warzone has now been out for just over a week, and now that I've put in a fair amount of gameplay time already in this Battle Royale, I just wanted to sit down and make my review video and go over all of the pros and cons I have with this BR and what I think they could hopefully do moving forward to make it even better. Now, something else I also want to point out before we get into everything else that I want to talk about, in terms of when Warzone came out, like I said, just over a week ago, it could not have come out at a better time.
You're goddamn right.
Because by this point in the Call of Duty cycle, generally people get bored of the current Call of Duty, especially in Modern Warfare's case, because the multiplayer just seems dead. There's nothing crazy going on, so we need something new to play or just the next Call of Duty to look forward to. And also, let's not kid ourselves, with the virus going around, which I cannot name because YouTube just has some really weird vendetta against it, but you guys know what I mean. Basically, the world is on lockdown right now. Everybody is staying at home playing video games all day, company included.
Oh my god, you're killing me! Get the fuck out of my room and play
Warzone.
And also, it might just be me, but there's not really any other games out right now. It was looking really bleak for me in terms of what games I wanted to play or stream or just make content on. But then Warzone dropped, and it could not have come at a better time. And it's just really smart on their end to just keep the longevity of the current Call of Duty Modern Warfare just to continue before Call of Duty 2020 comes out. So yeah, guys, hope you go on to enjoy the rest of this review video. And if there's anything that I forget to cover or mention in this video, definitely let me know in the comments down below. Or if you guys just agree or disagree with anything I have to say, I am more than happy to see what you guys have to say. Also, if you guys haven't already, drop a like on this video as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and turn on those bell notifications to get notified every single time I upload a new video here on my channel. Follow my Twitch and all my social medias. They'll be, of course, linked down in the description down below. And yeah, guys, with all that stuff being said, let's get on with the rest of today's video. So jumping right into it, boys, these first couple of points that I want to mention are things that have already been changed after the initial release of Warzone, or changes that Infinity Ward have already come out and said they're going to change in the future that I 100% agree with them. First off, when Warzone first launched, there was only trios. You guys remember there was no solos, duos, anything like that. You were forced to play in a squad. Granted, you technically could play solo if you just did the non-fill, but let's be honest, you would always be at a disadvantage because you'd be running up against a full party of players. And like you guys are even watching in the gameplay behind you, I finished the game with 18 kills. I didn't win the game. I unfortunately got second place, but if I killed the last two kids, I would have got a solo squad 20 kill win, but it's just almost impossible to pull something like that off. But obviously, you guys already know they did add solos a couple days ago, and that has been so amazing because generally when I play BRs, I like playing solo. That's just my thing to lone wolf. But yeah, the only trios, I'm really glad that they changed that. They also made the adjustment where if you downed a player but you didn't finish him off, you wouldn't get the kill credit. Obviously, that's super dumb. I don't know why that was the case to even begin with, but again, that was a small change that they've already fixed, which is great to see. And then the final point that I wanted to bring up is something that hasn't happened already, but is something that they're planning to do in the future, is increasing the players every match up to 200 instead of the current 150. Granted, at first I thought 150 would just not be enough because I thought the map looked so much bigger than, like, let's say Blackout's map, but believe it or not, I don't think it's that much bigger. Hell, it might even be the exact same size. I just think the fact that there's so many more buildings, the map just seems so much bigger than it actually is. But yeah, they don't necessarily have to make this change, but if they did end up doing that, I would think that would be even a more better improvement for Warzone. Now, getting into the pros of Warzone, the first major W that I have to give this BR, as well as tipping my hat to Activision for making this right decision, is that they made it free to play. I really don't think this needs much explanation, but deciding to make Warzone free-to-play is going to rival other free-to-play games like Fortnite, for example, that's been dominating gaming for years now. And the fact that it's free-to-play is just going to reach out to so many new players to get into playing Call of Duty, and it's just going to be a win-win all around. I don't know if it would be a long shot, but I'm really hoping they decide to make a Call of Duty multiplayer free-to-play down the road, because that would make it even better. But yes, free-to-play, that's just the new meta of video games nowadays, and there's just no other way to put it. It is a major W. Next up, and this is just going to be a continuation from the multiplayer side of things, obviously Warzone is cross-platform. If you're on Xbox, PS4, PC, you could play with any of your buddies on any of those consoles, and I've had zero problems with playing like with my buddies on PS4. If I wanted to try it out on PC with better graphics, I don't know, it's been flawless and it has just been amazing so far. Next up, I have to say that the looting in Warzone is amazing. Whenever you kill a player and they drop all of their different stuff like their ammo, their money, their weapons, you automatically pick up most of that things besides, I believe, weapons as well as lethal and tacticals. But it just makes looting so much easier. It's not clunky. There's not like a million different things you have to worry about. You just walk over their body, you automatically pick up most of the stuff, and it is just great. I was really worried that the looting was going to be really bad in this game, but nope, it is amazing. The money in Warzone is also a pretty cool and new feature that they included. Granted, I'm not really too sure if I 100% like it, because it practically removes the RNG that a normal battle royale would have, but at the same time, it does reward people like me that play a more aggressive play style and want to kill more players, because the more people you kill, the more money you get, and then you could buy better stuff at the buy stations like UAVs, armor plate bundles, kill streaks, whatever you want. The money in Warzone is also a new twist that I don't think I've ever seen before in a BR, but at the same time, I'm actually really digging it so far. Granted, I do think the money does remove a little bit of RNG, because instead of like, let's say, killing players and until you randomly find a good legendary weapon that someone else had but now you have, you could just kill a couple players or loot for a couple minutes, get enough money, and then you could just buy whatever you want, like your loadout drops, kill streaks, armor. You could practically get everything you need just using the money that you find through looting or killing people. Now, to piggyback off of the previous topic regarding the money that I quickly glossed over were the buy stations. And again, this where you would go to buy like your loadout drops, kill streaks, self-revive kits, armor plates, pretty much everything that you would need to go on to win a game. Now, again, something like this is going to remove the RNG or just randomness that you might experience when playing other BRs. And to be honest, I like this, because I hate when I die from something that I have pretty much no control over. So yeah, for me, I am a big fan of the buy stations, and I have just been having so much fun playing Warzone when I just have everything that I need at my quick disposal. Next up, this is a brand new feature that I have never seen in a BR before, and that is the gulag. It is such an amazing feature, and it allows you to have a 1v1 against another player that died in that match. And if you go on to win that 1v1, you get to redeploy into that match and potentially go on to win. It's almost like a second chance opportunity. Now, with that being said, even though I absolutely love the concept of the gulag and being able to get back into the match, if like, let's say you got a really bad drop or you just got really unlucky, that tends to happen all the time. I am not too keen of the weapons that are at your disposal in these 1v1s, because for the most part, you either get a pistol or even a shotgun at times. And let's just say those aren't my weapons of expertise. I would prefer to have like an AR or SMG, but I guess because it's a 1v1 pistols or shotguns make the most sense. I just feel like if I got type of weapon classes that I tend to use more instead of pistols or shotguns, I would probably win a lot more 1v1 matches, but I don't know, maybe it's just the right thing to have, but the gulag at the end of the day, 10 out of 10 for me. The contracts are also a really neat feature in the Warzone. I believe there are 3 different types. There are the bounties, where if you kill a specific player or team, you get a large sum of cash. The recons, where basically if you go to a location like a domination flag, you would again get cash if you captured that area after, like, let's say 20 or 30 seconds. And also the scavenger contracts, where I believe if you go to 3 different locations and open a chest, you get a really cool assortment of different loot. Like, for instance, the gas mask, armor plates, even legendary weapons. They're just really cool and neat features. This next feature is completely different from, let's say, Blackout, but in Warzone, your health bar automatically regens similar to multiplayer. And I really like this because that is just one less feature that you have to worry about when trying to survive. Because in Blackout, let's say again, you had to not only manually repair your armor, but you also had to heal with like med kits or bandages or whatever. But now you only have to worry about your armor plates and your health will just come back after a short time. It's just really neat that they ended up doing it this way. Next up, that I don't think I've ever seen in a battle royale, and this is going to be a common running theme with the pros that I have at Warzone, but they made a decision where when you are landing, you automatically get a starting pistol in your inventory. So there wouldn't be situations where, let's say, you land and someone beats you to the only gun in that room and then you're doomed to die. Nope, in Warzone, you have that pistol, so at least you know that if I don't find a gun, I have something already to defend myself with. And I really love this. Again, the pistol isn't that good by any means, and you do automatically also have 2 armor plates on your person. So killing someone with almost full health with that pistol isn't the most practical of all means, but at the end of the day, I would prefer to have a starting pistol than not have one. So the second to last pro I have with Warzone is that you guys might have noticed this, but let's say you were in the intro cutscene to a match, or before you even jumped, if you pull up your map, you get to see the first area location of the initial circle. And this is really neat because now I know where that first zone is, and I'm not gonna land somewhere outside of that or somewhere really far away that I'll have to rotate in. Plus, also keep this in mind, since everybody else knows where that first circle is, that is going to encourage people to land there, and that is just a higher density of players where you could then end up to get more kills in the match. It's just a really small and neat feature that I really appreciate. And then the last pro I have with the Warzone BR is that the connections have been flawless. I don't know if it's just my luck that I've run into the game, but I have practically experienced 0 to no lag, bad connections, high pings. The connections have just been really good for me. Now, getting into the cons, all of the juicy information that you guys want to know, because for whatever reason, when it comes to review videos, people are way more interested in the negatives instead of the positives. And believe me, there are definitely negatives I have with Warzone. First off, and this is going to be the elephant in the room that I have already made numerous videos about, coming from the multiplayer, that I just have been absolutely dumbfounded that they made this same mistake in their battle royale, is that I am almost 99% sure, and this is just going to be a hunch, I have no way to confirm this, there is skill-based matchmaking in Warzone, and I just cannot believe this. Now, my reasoning for saying this is that, like I brought up earlier, is that there are 15 million people that have downloaded and played Warzone, which is a crap ton of people if you think about. But for whatever reason, if you guys go back and watch my previous streams of me playing Warzone, I am just running into sweats and tryhards almost every other gunfight I I get into. Statistically, that almost shouldn't be possible. I should be running into maybe tryhards every now and again, but not almost every single time. Where's all of the brand new players that have never played either a battle royale from Call of Duty or just Call of Duty in general? Where's all of the Timmy no thumbs? And just in case you guys not might believe me, or I'm just the only person saying this, I am going to throw up multiple tweets of other people claiming the exact same thing. And these are people like big YouTubers, streamers, even pro players, people that are like me, been playing Call of Duty for years now, and we just know what we're talking about. I've played Call of Duty with and without skill-based matchmaking. I know the difference, and I can almost guarantee that Warzone is just like the multiplayer and has skill-based matchmaking. And the fact that this is probably true is just ridiculous. There's no reason to have skill-based matchmaking in a game, let alone a battle royale. That's just ridiculous. So they need to fix this. They need to tune it down or even remove it for me. Next up, and this has been a big hot topic in the community regarding Warzone, is the price of the loadout drops. Currently, it is at 6,000, and I just think that is way too low, because if you guys have been playing like me, you guys know how easy it is to pull together 6,000, especially if you're playing with a full party. And I'm just not a fan of it, because instead of there being a little bit of RNG or trying to survive with, let's say, the guns you get out of the chest, it's just a matter of who could get their loadouts faster with like their fully decked out M4s or MP5s or all of the other god guns, and then you're set for the rest of the game. I just really don't like this, and I think they should increase the cost of these loadout drops by either double or at least more than 10 to 15,000. It just needs to be so much higher than everything else is. Or I've even thrown out the idea of, instead of you being able to buy the loadout drops, you can only get your loadout drops by the random ones that drop down later in the match. So again, it involves a little bit more in terms of RNG and not so much just who could get the cash faster and who could get their loadouts the fastest. Next up, and I think I've actually been the minority in this problem, has to be the Footstep audio. I don't know what it's been, but everybody is saying that the audio of the enemies is too low and they want it to be increased. I don't know what game they're playing, but most of my matches where I've died have been times where I'm running around trying to find people, but some dude is just camping in a building and he sound heard me miles away. I don't think the enemy footsteps are the issue. I think my bigger problem is that my own footsteps are way too loud. And again, this just removes the incentives of actually moving around, because I think instead of making the enemy footsteps louder, I would just appreciate if my footsteps were turned down. At the end of the day, they have to make some adjustments in the footstep volume because it is not in a good state currently. Next up, and I touched up on this earlier regarding when you initially drop with a starting pistol, is that for whatever reason, you automatically land with 2 out of your 3 armor pieces equipped. Now, I'm just not a fan of this because, like I brought up with the starting pistol, it's not that good. It's hard enough to get a kill when they almost have full health already. So I think the better thing to do would be to remove the fact that you automatically start with armor and you only have your base health and you at least have to loot to find armor. Next up, and if you guys watched my previous video, you guys probably saw it, but it is the fact that your gas mask automatically equips and also removed by your character, which has already costed me a win in Warzone. This is pretty much a game-breaking mechanic in my eyes. I just do not like that. I think they should implement a feature where you have to manually deploy it as well as remove it yourself. It's just really dumb. I don't like this feature whatsoever. They have to change it. I prefer just to do it manually, but it has to be addressed in my eyes. Also, the chest in floor loot is practically pointless in Warzone, and again, this is gonna tie in with the RNG with this BR. When I open chests, the really things that I care about are maybe like dead silence, armor plates, or the most important, the money. Getting weapons out of the chest, or just kind of that thrill of maybe having the slight chance of pulling out a legendary secondary weapon is just non-existent in Warzone. And the fact that the loadout drops are so cheap and that's what you want to get as fast as possible, the floor loot and chest loot is just pointless for the most part. I just don't understand what they're doing there. The second to last con I have with the Warzone regards the vehicles, because with a game mode like BR, you want to get around the map as fast as possible, especially like me where I'm trying to go for high kill wins. But in Warzone, you guys may have noticed that if you get in like one of the trucks or just vehicles in general or the helicopters, you show up on the red dot as a constant red marker for everyone to see in your close proximity. Now, I am not a fan of this because I already think there's a big enough trade-off where the enemies know where you are because they could hear you coming from a mile away, but it's just a double whammy where they also know exactly where you are to ambush you, and it just makes using vehicles kind of pointless because you're jeopardizing your life when using them. And then the final change that I would love to see come to Warzone is the kill feed. Granted, this is a smaller one, but if you guys have already noticed, the only things you actually see in your kill feed are either when people leave the game, which is kind of pointless if you think about it, or when either you or someone in your squad gets a full kill. And there is no actual proper kill feed where you see other people getting kills or downs. And I don't like this because that is also valuable information that I would like to know, because let's say I'm third partying and I hear gunshots. If I watch the kill feed, I'll know if someone got killed and there's maybe one less person. But in Warzone, you don't know any of that. The kill feed is practically pointless. I really hope they change it and basically make it the way multiplayer is, where you see everybody's kills and deaths and whatnot. And if they did that, I think Warzone would just be in a better state than it is currently. And yeah, guys, that is everything that I wanted to bring up regarding Warzone. That is my full detailed review of this brand new Battle Royale. At the end of the day, I think Warzone is definitely an improvement and a step in the right direction, and I'm enjoying it, I would say, a little bit more than I did in, let's say, Blackout. But like you guys saw, there is still numerous things that I would love to see them change. But at the moment, it is definitely a breath of fresh air. And also, if you look at the numbers, Warzone has been killing it. Granted, there's still a lot of people streaming the game and are people that are partnered, so obviously they're going to attract bigger numbers, but I think Warzone has the potential to be the biggest game, or at least one of the biggest games currently out.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
And as a longtime Call of Duty fan, that is amazing because obviously I love COD and I also love BR. So the fact that they're making one together and is also good at the end of the day, I cannot really hate. And also, don't try to get the idea that, oh, I just hate Call of Duty no matter what they do and I'm just a super negative person no matter what. Because I want Call of Duty to succeed. This is my favorite genre of video games, first-person shooters. I want it to do well. It's just I want them to make improvements and steps in the right direction. So yeah, guys, I hope you stuck around to the end of this video. And of course, if you guys haven't already, drop a like on this video as well as comment down below your guys' thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and turn on those bell notifications to get notified every single time I upload a new video here on my channel. Follow my Twitch and all my social medias. They'll be, of course, linked down in the description down below. And until next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.